I take your chair for a second?
I'm sorry.
May I have this?
Oh, yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, everybody, we're going to get started here. And I want to thank all who have come out here in the rainy weather for, I think, a very important occasion. Anytime you sign a bill into law, it's a special time. It really recognizes we are a government of the people. And at this time of year, right after the 4th of July, it underlines how important it is that the government of the people and by the people and for the people. It shall not perish from this earth. Abraham Lincoln said that. It's on the walls of the Lincoln Memorial. And I think it's important that we act today because this has been a very, very violent weekend, holiday weekend in this area of our state. We've had over 70 people shot since last Wednesday evening. 12 have been killed. A young boy is battling for his life, Jaden Donovan. And I think we all say prayers for him every night I see his mom on TV. And it's important that we understand that Jaden was watching the 4th of July fireworks when he was shot, a 5-year-old boy. And on that very same weekend, a 72-year-old grandmother who was scratching off her lotto tickets was shot on her porch. I think we all understand the danger of gun violence. We understand the danger of gangs. And we want to make sure that we protect the people. That's our foremost duty as human beings. All of us have a stake in this. All of us are in this together. We must protect the people. I think it's very, very important that the bills that I'm signing have been sponsored by Representative Welch, who is with us here today, who will speak, as well as Senator Patricia Van Pelt, who will also speak. And I want to thank both of them for joining us today, for their leadership in taking on the gangs and the gangsters, those who would do harm to our community, who would shoot grandmothers and little babies. There's something wrong in a situation where that is occurring. But no one should be shot in our state of Illinois. We want to make sure that we enact laws that protect the people. And on Tuesday, there will be a showdown in Springfield on whether or not the General Assembly will adopt the mandatory veto that I made last week, the changes to the proposed bill on concealed carry. I do not believe that guns belong in establishments that have liquor licenses. Guns and alcohol do not mix. That's a toxic mixture that will only enhance the shooting. I also think that it's important that we protect the people of Illinois when it comes to having multiple concealed weapons put on a person. They don't need more than one weapon, and I had to change that last week in our mandatory veto. So it is important that we gather together as a community of faith. And I am really impressed by all those leaders of the faith community. We appreciate you coming out today because it is important for our voice to be led to the battle to protect the people. We do not want the National Rifle Association to set public policy in Illinois when it comes to safety of everyday people. They are not the experts. The experts are the men and women who are gathered here today, who live in the communities of our state, who know firsthand what the violence is doing to those communities. And they are saying to all of us, we will not have silence about the violence. We will gather together as a community, as a faith community, as the state of Illinois, with 13 million people strong, to make sure that we protect the people. And I now want to bring forward someone who I have known, who has represented me in Washington, who has taken on the National Rifle Association over and over again, who has taken on the gangs over and over again on behalf of the people. That's Congressman Danny J. Davis.
I'm pleased to be here to join with the government in this continuing fight taken on those who would give individuals rights to shoot up places without being screened, without protecting the people. I want to congratulate State Senator Van Pelt, Patricia Van Pelt, and State Representative Chris Welch for their creativity and ingenuity in crafting legislation that's going to protect the people in the state of Illinois, who are going to help people understand that to see crime and not report it or not share information with law enforcement is not really the idea of whether you are snitching on somebody, but it's the fact that you are trying to protect your community, your neighborhood, your people. And so I'm pleased to join here at the great open door with all of these faith leaders who are here in the house of Dr. Richard Nelson to say, right on, Senator Van Pelt, right on, Representative Welch, right on, Representative Cullerton, and it's our pleasure to be here and to share this great deal tonight with the governor.
Washington and everywhere in Illinois. It's important that we also understand that we have representatives and senators in Springfield who understand what the gun violence is doing to communities. And someone who has stood up to the gangs, who stood up to the gun violence, is with us here today. That's Senator Patricia Van Pelt Watkins. I have worked with Senator Watkins. She's a newcomer to Springfield, but she's a force of nature. And I'm very glad.
I'm here today to support the signing of this bill. Chris Welch passed this bill out of the House of Representatives and brought it over to the Senate. I was happy to hear it. It was a no-brainer for me. I am one that works hard to try to help people that are recently out of prison to get back reintegrated in our community. With 30,000 coming back to our communities every year, Illinois communities every year, to join the 3.9 million adults in Illinois who have criminal records and 2.2 million that have felony records. I think we need to get to the root cause of the problem. And I see this bill as one of the bills that gets to the root cause of the problem. With 72 people being shot this holiday weekend and 12 people being murdered, I think enough is enough.
That's right.
It's time for those that are willing and ready to step forward to do so, to create the type of legislation and opportunity that we need to improve the safety in our communities. This Victims Protection Act is an excellent bill because it allows people who want to step up and speak up about the crime that they see to know that they can get protection, and that includes also housing, being moved to another area, and other supports that they may need in order to feel protected as they stand before as a witness. This is what we need now. We need people to step up to the plate. I'm one for the downtrodden. I'm one that stands up for people who have been cast aside. But you know what? Now it's time for us to stand up for the victims. It's time for us to stand up for those that are willing to speak out. And I'm one that's willing to speak out. And all those that are willing to join me, I ask them to do so. Thank you so much.
Patricia just said, we're fighting for the victims. It's very, very important to understand that this is a problem in the city of Chicago and in Cook County and in other places as well. There's someone who has served for 10 years as president of the school board. He understands how important it is for the principals of schools to report incidences of gang activity and violence in their school. He also understands how important it is for people of fortitude, and that comes from the Bible, right? We got to make sure that we follow what Isaiah said in the Bible. He talked about oaks of righteousness. He said, "Here I am, Wednesday night. I will go if you believe me, and I will hold your people in my arms. And I think it's important that we have representatives in Springfield who sponsor bills to take on the gangs, who won't let the gangsters take over. And that's Representative Chris Welch. He's here today. Come on forward.
Thank you, Governor. I am really proud to stand here as a freshman legislator today with the governor of our great state to sign two pieces of legislation that I initiated in the House of Representatives. These are the first two bills that I worked on that will become law, and these bills are important to my district. Maywood is no different than the city of Chicago, and all the shootings that have taken place here in the last 4 or 5 days. They're happening in Maywood, they're happening in Belleville, they're happening in Broadway. And we are trying to step up and stop these gangs from doing all these shootings and killing our kids. These bills are important to my district, the city of Chicago, and our entire state. That is why I want to stand here and personally thank Governor Quinn for signing these two bills here today. I want to thank him for being a leader, for being tough on gangs, and being tough on guns. As our elected leaders, as your elected leaders, I see it as one of our roles to ensure public safety. We have to ensure public safety each and every day in this state and stop the gangs. House Bill 1139, I believe, will stop the gangs. It will stop and end the code of silence. Let's end that code of silence today. Tell us what you know about these murders that are happening on the streets. Tell us what you know. How many more 5-year-old kids need to get shot before someone stands up? How many more graduates in my high school, graduates like Deshaun McCarty, need to get shot before someone stands up? We need to sign this bill today. We need to end that code of silence and tell us what you know. House Bill 2768, as the governor talked about, will also encourage school principals to tell us what they know. Tell us what's happening in their buildings. They know. They know the gang members. They know who's bringing the weapons to school. They will report this information to the local police departments. And we're going to return our schools to being safe havens and places to learn. I want to thank the governor. I want to thank Senator Van Pelt for sponsoring 1139. And I want to thank Senator Culture for sponsoring House Bill 2768. Thank you.
Before we sign the bills, I want to acknowledge some of our clergy who are here today, our faith leaders, Reverend Hood, with Mothers Opposed to Violence Everywhere, Representative Albert Tyson III, presiding elder at A&B Church, Cheryl Phillips with Safe Cities Incorporated, Representative James Hicks, who's with us here from the original Greater Garfield Park Missionary Baptist Church, Chairman Michael Eddy, who's Council of Elders of the Church of God in Christ. We have Carmelita Earls, President of the Illinois Women's Council, Reginald Berry, Director of Saving Our Sons Ministry, Reverend Gerald Wilson is with us here today, and also Reverend Steve Spiller, Representative Tracy Grimm, and Pastor Harold. We want to thank you for joining us. We also want to thank Reverend Ronald Wilkes, pastor of Soul Savings Missionary Baptist Church. We also want to thank Reverend M.G. Hunter, pastor of the Grace Memorial Missionary Baptist Church, and also pastor Reverend Tommy Woolbridge Sr., Helping Hand Missionary Baptist Church, and also from Mount Olive Missionary Baptist Church, Reverend Kenneth Giles. And I may have missed some names, and I thank you all for coming. I think we all have to be missionaries here, don't you think? I think we've got to be understanding what Dr. King said. He lived on the west side of Chicago in 1966, where we are right now. And Dr. King said, it's always the right time to do the right thing. And we're here to do the right thing. We're not going to let the gangbangers take over. We're not going to let those who want to have guns in bars get away with that. It isn't safe. We've got to make sure that we do what's right with common sense for everyday people in Illinois, protect them. And so I'm going to sign these bills out. I want everybody together, especially our young boys and girls.
Okay, Bob?
This is his first bill. Okay. Okay. Let's come together here. It's all about protecting the babies. Right here. Right now. Thank you for coming. All right.
How you doing, man? Yeah, real good. Real good. 132%. Hey, Cameron, how you doing, sir? What's up? I know you ever since you was a little kid. Yes, sir. That's right. I used to preach at this church when I was 15 years old.
Very good. Very nice. You gotta get the shot.
Yes, President. Right there. Uh-huh.